What is going on, everyone? This is your Carlo here at Magnet Crypto, back again with another video. I'll be doing an end of week market breakdown today, looking at Bitcoin in a bit more detail, as well as Ethereum and a few altcoins, because the market is looking very shaky and I just want to add my two pence to it. So let's cue the intro and get straight into it. So let's not waste any time and get straight into Bitcoin and what's going on. Now, Bitcoin has been looking very shaky for the last few weeks, although we've had a rebound, recovery, and breached 40,000. It immediately got rejected straight down below the crucial resistance area, which should have been support at 38,000. Went below and is now testing the trend line that's formed with two tests, or several tests actually. And it's looking like potentially, hold on, let me just move this screen out of the way. So it's looking like potentially it could even go lower. I would actually say it is looking like it wants to push lower, because
you dare say that to me?
This amount of sell pressure, it's greater than the buying pressure below it. So it looks like it wants to push lower to find some liquidity to push it up. Basically, it looks like it's run out of fuel and needs to get some more fuel to go back to the upside. So we might, and I've said this quite a few times, we might get a deep spike into this area. As you can see here, these long spikes looking for liquidity, and we might get a spike into this area, potentially touching this trend line down near 31 to 32,000, and then we go back up. So this is looking quite worrying for a lot of people. But as I've said, we are deep into this bull run. It just doesn't seem like this is the end just yet. Of course, there's no guarantees. We could just, a bear market could just start right now. We don't know.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees, but it's looking unlikely. Now, the other thing as well, that is a very good indicator, is this 21-day EMA. Now, what I will say is normally during bull runs, it doesn't stay below the 21-day EMA for too long. Now we can use the previous bull run 2017, which is matching it very closely as an example. So even from probably the end of the bear market, if you follow the 21-day EMA, it gets pierced but not closes below, and throughout the bull run, as it progresses, it gets tapped several times but doesn't really close below. Again, here you see it gets tapped several times, and this does result in large decreases, large drops of around 40%, further drops of 37%, but it doesn't actually close below it, and that it was the same for the previous bull run as well. So this is worrying, and it only closed below it when the bear market started. So this is a little bit worrying, the fact that we're below the 21-day EMA. The one thing I would say in support of being below it is, as the bear market finished the previous one around 2018 to 2019, we did close below the 21-day EMA quite a few times, as you can see here, resulting in the COVID bear crash, whatever you want to call it, the COVID crash. And then straight after that, so it picked up a ton of liquidity. Straight after that, it went back above the 21-day EMA, used it as support, and then the rest is history. And what followed that was an incredible run from 10,000 all the way to 65. Now, even at this point though, we had not touched the 21-day EMA for a long time, from September 2000 or June 2000, 2020, all the way until this point. So it was long overdue that we actually tested the 21-day EMA. Now we're below it. I say that to say this was long overdue, so it could be an accumulation of being too far from the 21-day EMA, and now it's taking some time below it, if that makes any sense. So that's my take on Bitcoin. I think there is a good possibility that it will go below, pierce below for a short period of time to pick up some liquidity and then go back on the upside. So you've got to be patient. As I've said, ideally we want it to stay within this trend line and within this resistance zone. Worst case scenario, we do not want it to go below 32,000 and close below that. If it closes below 32,000, that's a huge bear market indicator. Moving over to Ethereum. The whole market right now is looking very bearish, unfortunately. Most cryptocurrencies are losing a lot of gains. Altcoins are shedding like there's no tomorrow. We have Ethereum now testing the bottom, as I somewhat predicted. If it did not hold this level over here, 2200, then it was looking likely that I was going to go below and test 2100. Going back to the weekly time frame, it's also testing the 21-week EMA. So if you can hold that as support, that'd be very bullish. As I said, this also confluences with that bottom of 2100. If it goes below 2100, then there's only one last bastion of support at 1900. So we do not want to see it go below there. But the market is looking, unfortunately, very bearish. There's a little good thing about this, and that is normally when the weekend is full of losses, it's full of red and blood on the streets. Normally the weekend, the week that follows it is actually a green week. And the reverse is also true, that when the weekend is green, when there's actually some bullish action during the week, then the week that follows it tends to be a red week. So this could be a good thing.
Really?
Now I'm going to cover just a few altcoins, starting with MATIC. I've gotten quite a few requests to continue to cover this, so I'll do that. And MATIC was looking good for a while. When it got close to, when it actually touched the level that I spoke about, 108 till 120, I thought that was enough for a correction, and now it's likely that it was going to turn around and go to the upside. It started to do that, and it's still actually looking relatively bullish. So you can see this trend line here that starts from late April till now. Got several tests respecting this trend line. If it stays above this trend line, then we can see further upside towards $1.73. That's going to be the main point. Actually, what I just put as well is this counter trend line right here. So there's actually a nice counter trend line. So this is quite a large, somewhat symmetrical triangle, although there is quite a lot of space, so it's not too strong. But potentially, if it closes above this, if it attacks this level, closes above and uses it as support, then MATIC could start to go back on the upside and continue its rally. However, this is several tests of this trend line. So if it breaks this trend line, goes below it, then we're definitely going to see this level of $1.24, which is a new low, being tested, and then potentially lower than that, the previous low of $1.08 being tested once again. So it's at limbo at the moment. It needs to decide which way it wants to go. Next, we have AGIX, the new token that is now available cross-chain on Cardano. As I mentioned, on the weekly, it doesn't look like it's found a bottom just yet. The fact that it's found a little bit of liquidity and it's pulling back, which is a good sign, but we still need to see a green candle, and then most likely to test this level of 21 cents before we can actually get more bullish. On the daily time frame though, looking at this, potentially this could be a good candle. Because there's a lot of buying pressure pushing it up, but there is a little bit of selling pressure. But if it can hold this level and close above this support level of 17 cents, then that is a bullish sign. You can build on that and then move to the upside. The next level would definitely be to close above this low of 19 cents and then we can start to see some more bullish action. You can see there's a bit of buying pressure going on, so this could be a good candle. As I said, this is a good thing when the bottom wick is much longer than the top wick. That indicates a lot more buying pressure. Then so that the bulls are more in control than the bears essentially. Next we have a look at MATIC. On the daily time frame, this looks like a descending triangle, and in a bull market this could be a good thing. As I mentioned before, I believe if it can close above this counter trend line and test it as support, then this could be a good thing. It could be a bullish indication that we could see a movement to the upside. Now you can actually measure this by, if I can get that right there, so you can actually measure this where it potentially could go by measuring the height of the descending triangle and then placing it where it could break out. So potentially we could see a move towards $13.29, $13.29 or 24 cents even, top of this a line. So let's see if it breaks above this, of course. Now the contrary could also happen. We could see a break below this support level of around $7.80. If it breaks below this, then that could open up a move down towards the next major level of $4.80 potentially, of course. Now there are a couple of areas in between as well, but that's the next major level. So for example, here we have another level around $6.68 towards $7 basically. So that's another level that could go towards if it breaks below this current support level. So let's see how it wants to react in the next week. It could go to the upside, and as I said, normally when you have a red week, the following week could there's a likelihood that the next week will be green. So that is a good thing potentially, of course. So Cardano, although it reversed quite nicely from the 21-day EMA, still above it, it now looks like it wants to test this previous resistance turned support at $1.32. If it can hold that, that will be a good thing. But then now it needs to close above this high that was formed very recently at around 168. If it does not get past this resistance level, then it will form a lower high. If it does that, of course, that's a bearish indication, and it could go lower, testing this level again, and then potentially breaking it, entering this consolidation region once again, with a support level at $1.05. So Cardano also needs to decide what it wants to do. At the moment, if it closes below, what I can see is it needs to get some more fuel in the tank. Of course, this candle right here is quite a bearish one, showing there's a lot of sell side pressure pushing it down. There's not much buying pressure going on over here, so it needs to reach in potentially into this area to get some liquidity as it did before right here, but it might need to search deeper. So let's see how deep it needs to go to get some liquidity. A bullish case would be if this trend line kind of takes place and potentially just taps the level. As you can see, there's ascending wicks going on over here. So if it taps that level and then reverse it, that would be very, very nice to see for Cardano. But ultimately, I'm seeing this area over here being tested once again. So that'll be all for this breakdown. Hopefully you got some value. See you in the next one. Peace.